see that?
Yes, can see that.
Perfect. Got the thumbs up there from a few of you. Fantastic. Well, thank you first of all, Lynn, for asking me. Let me just check. Is it recording at your end, Lynn? Is it still saying it's recording? Yeah. Okay. Brilliant.
If you want a copy, I'll send you one over when it's done. If your one doesn't record.
That's perfect. Okay.
Well, thanks, Helen.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you first of all, Lynn, for asking me to come onto your team webinar. It's an absolute honour. My goal tonight, I guess, is to just share with you some inspiration, motivation and knowledge. And I'm going to start by briefly sharing my story for any of you that don't know me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into some training on how you can help your team to succeed with what we call the contact, care and communication. But more than that, it's about coaching and supporting the people that you've got in your business. So first of all, just if you can just I'm going to have a little look through the videos. But who's got a team? Who's on here? Have you all got a team? Just put your hand up or your thumb up. Okay, so good percentage of you, so that's fantastic. And if there is anybody on here that is brand new and is thinking about this, you know, you just learn as you go, so don't be worried if there's anything that I say that you think, oh, I'm not sure about that. Then, you know, we just basically learn as we go, and you've got fantastic support in your business and through the network that's going to help you and support you and show you the systems. So let's start a little bit with my story. Andrew was a project manager and I was a learning consultant who'd been made redundant in 2006. So it's 11 years now in the business. And, you know, we was in quite a desperate situation. I thought I had a job to go back to after the summer holidays, and suddenly I'd got a P45 in the post. More than that, lost a job that I loved with a passion, and lost obviously a full-time income. So we were quite desperate. At the time, we've got 4 children. We just had our first granddaughter. So, you know, we was in a bit of a situation. And up popped an ad that said work from home and be your own boss. And it kind of intrigued me. My mum's always had her own business, and I just thought, oh, it'd be really great to be able to run a business from home. So, you know, Mike and Jean came round and explained to us all about the business, and we just decided, you know, let's give this thing a go. So we joined in August of 2006, and our first check in the business. Now, this for me, that's something that's really quite significant, because I think your first check is what gives you belief in this business, and it's what proves to you that the business works. So from there on in, I fell in love with the flexibility, the freedom that Clean Easy gives you to be a part of our children's lives. But, you know, so far Clean Easy has given us a beautiful home. We've extended our house, so we live in a beautiful home. We've got a great income producing asset. You know, we've built ourselves a great customer base. Regardless of the team, we have that income producing asset in our hands that over the last 4 years has retailed on average £4,000 a period personal sales. So, you know, that's an average income for us that's well and truly replaced my income that I had as a learning consultant. It's about £1,400 on average just from our own personal retail. And I would say in the business, one of the priorities is really just take that personal responsibility for your own income. Then obviously we did go share this opportunity with lots of people that have then shared this opportunity with lots of people. And we have been, you know, had our highest income of £4,600. But for me, you know, it really has been about the time freedom, being there to be a part of our children's lives. You know, they've all grown up since we first joined. You know, they're young adults now and they're really not needing it as much, but it has been really special to be a part of seeing them grow up and be there one step at a time with them. Throughout the 11 years with Clean Easy, we have qualified now for 11 of the conferences. So we have been very blessed by traveling the world 5-star all-inclusive to many destinations around the world, and also being able to take the children on our own little Clean Easy destinations because whenever we've qualified for a trip, we've always ensured that the children have qualified for trips as well. So, you know, I would say this business, it's all about the people. We joined the focus group. Like I said, we've a part of a fantastic group of people, a group that has really high standards, lots of high competition, which is really good, because when the standards are high and the expectations are high, you know, we learn quick, and we have some amazing leaders throughout the network that we are forever grateful for, that have helped us on our journey. So, you know, our goal is to build ultimately a high performing team around us. And, you know, I really do feel like this year, and certainly last year now, we have that backbone in place, and we're taking our business now to the next level, which is just so exciting. So I'm just going to start actually with the training, but I'm just going to start with a little story for you. And I want you to imagine for one moment that you sat on this beautiful train with the beautiful surroundings around you, and you know, there are people on there that are maybe taking a 10-minute nap. There are people quietly reading their newspapers. And if you've got a pen and paper, just write down what you feel right now, how you think you would feel. So when the train now stops at the next station, a young man and 3 children get onto the train. They sit in your carriage, and as the train starts to move, the children start to run around, and they start to create a little bit of chaos. They're jumping on the seats, they're tearing newspapers out of people's hands, they're screaming and shouting, "Daddy, Daddy, watch me!" Absolutely causing mayhem now on the train. So just for one moment, again, just write how you would feel in that situation. You've gone from peace and tranquility to absolute chaos. Okay. So then the man, then you go up to the man and you think, you know, maybe he needs some help. So you ask the man, the young man, if everything's okay. And the man replies to you, "I'm really sorry. We've just left the hospital. My loving wife, the mother of my 3 children, has just passed away." Now then, how would you feel? Because do you know what? I often believe that we see the world through our own eyes, our own ideals and our own opinions. And one of the most important things that you can do in this business when you're team building is to really understand there is lots of things that goes on in people's lives. And the more you get to know the people in your team and the less you prejudge people, the more you will open your business up and you'll have a great team. You see, I believe that our beliefs come from all of that evidence around us. You know, it's we have to find that evidence. Sometimes we have to look for that evidence, and you will get in life what you want if you help enough other people get what they want in life. I also believe that the more we teach others, the more we learn ourselves. So, you know, as we're teaching other people, we are learning and developing skills all of the time if we're open to that. I also believe that most people join this business, sorry, I've missed a line there. We make a living by what we get, and we make a life by what we give. And it is all about giving to your team and not taking. I also believe that most people join this business because they want to be successful, but sometimes they bring along a big bag of experiences, conditioning and self-beliefs that hold them back often. So, you know, sometimes you have to get through that with people before you see them taking them steps to success. I also believe that if you've got a passion to help others, that you help others to be successful, that you'll be successful too. So, you know, I love this business. I love the team because it is all about them. If you help enough people to achieve what they want, then you will get what you want out of the business. And it's quite fascinating because we do come across all sorts of people in the business. You know, there are people that are looking for a different opportunity. You're going to get the Mr. or Mrs. Know-it-all. You're going to get the, you know, Larry the Liars and Jerry I'm gonna. Magic Steve, who's the magician that's in your business one moment and then suddenly he's disappeared. You know, the steady eddies that are there all the time, you know, just steadily plodding and working way through the business. That then you're going to get Sally and Steve that are coming and they're really serious and you're aspiring goals. So what you have to understand really is that you are working with people that are all looking for different things, and it's about allowing those people to get what they want from the business and you helping them to get what they want, understanding that past experience and the baggage that they carry around with them, and then remembering that sometimes things aren't always what they seem. So, you know, be open to that. People don't always tell you what's going on. You often think they're making excuses up, but just really sort of try to understand those people. And like I say, one of the big things that I say is don't ever prejudge anybody, because the people that grow this business are often the people that you think won't or can't. And, you know, people do often surprise you. And I think the business, it's as a team, it's about sort of in that beginning, coming together in the beginning, keeping together is the progress, then working together with one another is the success, just like Henry Ford says here. So, you know, if you're new to sponsoring or you've been building a team for a while, you might think, oh, where do I start? You know, there's so many things. You know, you've got goal setting, coaching, training. There's all of these different things that are involved in team building. Well, my advice is just keep it simple. You know, you keep things simple. You don't have to know everything on day one. That's obviously why we have a sponsor and an upline that's there to support you. You know, we've got an amazing business where that support is in place and everybody wants you to do well. So, you know, that's what they're there for. Follow your system. You know, within all of our groups, we have a blueprint, we have the tracks to run on. All you have to do is follow and understand that system. It's been tried, it's been tested, it's the best way of working. So, you know, it's not about reinventing the wheel. Just follow that system and help people to follow that system. For yourself, you know, you've got to be coachable, you've got to be willing to learn, and you've got to be open to new ideas. Nobody can help you until you help yourself. So, you know, be determined to learn and be determined to have that no stop attitude. Plug yourself, I'm talking to the converted here, but plug yourself into all the training that's available. You know, be a sponge for learning. You know, because I love this saying, if you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you're determined to learn, no one can stop you. So, and it is about understanding everybody as an individual, create an instant rapport, and then create a team synergy with everybody, where everybody feels valued, everybody feels a part of something, you know, and that's where the skill comes into developing relationships and working together, because we all have something to add to the team. We've all got our ideas, we've all got our things, and together that's how we develop and that's how we move forward. Within the business, when you first start, people, expose them to the business, expose your team to the opportunity, then involve them with everything that goes on. It's not about just you. training and plugging in. It's now about you involving your team, bringing them through with the training so that you can upgrade yourself, but you can upgrade everybody then that's in your team. And I would say never ever give up on anybody that is in your business, because everybody has their part to play. Okay, so sometimes the smallest steps in the right direction end up being the biggest steps of your life. Tiptoe if you must, but take that step. And just remember, some people will go off to a really fast start. Some people may not be that quick. So, you know, but still value those tiptoeing steps, because that's how people get to their success. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through now some coaching your success line. And coaching, if we understand it, it's helping the person find their own solutions to the problem. It's not about you doing everything for them, because, you know, as Jim Rohn says, we can't carry 3 men on our back. You might be able to carry 1, but as your team gets bigger, you know, you need to teach people so that they can find the resources, so that they can develop, because it is about everybody taking that personal responsibility, understanding where things are in place for them, not about you doing everything for everybody. So I'm going to do a little bit stuff on communication, how to be offering guidance to your team, sort of methods, if you like, of asking questions, how to be that caring, nurturing sponsor, and how to help people, some suggestions and tips on helping, or instructing and influencing. And then really, you know, just to reaffirm that as well, never giving up on people. And I'm going to talk you a little bit through the GROW model. Not sure whether you've seen this or not, but it's a great coaching strategy, keeps you on track with coaching and mentoring your team. So let's start with communication. I think this is probably one of the biggest things in the business. I believe it's the magic ingredient to effective coaching. And communication, if we like, is a simple act of transferring information from one place to another. And I guess our desired outcome with this is that people understand what you've told them, how you've explained things to them. So there are a couple of key ingredients to communication. You know, it's not just about talking. It's the key to it primarily is listening to. You know, we have 2 eyes and 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so we should always listen twice as hard. But there are things like our verbal communication, there's our non-verbal communication, so our body language, our gestures and all of those things, our written communication as well that we provide for our team. So, you know, letters, emails and all of that sort of thing. And anything that's kind of visual to help people, so graphs and charts and all of that. Certainly if we're doing anything on the pay plan, it's always great to have visual things. So you may be wondering, what on earth have cakes got to do with communication? Well, you know, it is about the ingredients that make a cake. And if you were to kind of get the ingredients to make a cake, and you get your egg and your sugar and your flour, and you were just to kind of just put a bit in your mouth and shake it around a bit, does that make a cake? Well, no, it doesn't, does it? It's the blending together in the right way and then baking it and following the system of making a cake that means that we can go from making a very simple cupcake in the microwave to then developing skills to be able to do that perfect Victoria sponge, to then go on to be the professional that can do the whole fruit cake, the whole shebang. So, you know, we've learned a variety of methods of baking a cake, and that's just like the business. We're learning a variety of methods, if you like, to communicating with our team. So, you know, things do evolve, and it's just about making sure that you develop your skills with communication, understanding your systems and all of that's in place with your team and your group. So I've got a little test for you at this stage. You can chat in the chat, can't you? So I can get the chat up here. Okay. So, how many children do I have? Oh, some of you have been really good. You've been listening. 4. Got 4 children. Brilliant. Okay. Let me just do the next question. What did I do before Clean Easy? Can anybody remember? Okay, yeah, not learning coach, teaching assistant. Okay, not far off. I was a learning consultant. Yeah, so I was teaching in further education. Well done, we're getting the listening test here. Okay, let's see our next question. From which rod in the pond did we join this business from? An online ad. Yes, Kate, you got it. So did Bianca. Well done. Yeah, we joined from an online ad. Okay. And what was my first check? Anybody remember what my first check was? Yeah, you were quite good there. Some of you spot on. Well done. You've got your ears open tonight. You're certainly listening. So well done. You know, it is about us taking that information and it certainly when we're working with our team, it is about really taking an interest in what they have to say so that when we develop them relationships, they show that you are interested in them. Okay, so what makes up what we hear? Well, it's the words, the voice tone, and the body language. But isn't it interesting that only 7% of it is actually the words that we speak? So when you are working with your team, it's lovely now on Zoom, isn't it? Because you get to see facial expressions, you get to see all that, you get to hear the tone of the voice. You can't get full body language, but you know, that's a really important part of it. And I'm loving Zoom as part of our training package because it allows us to have so much more of that communication. You know, but when you are working with your team, always think about that. When you can work with them in an environment where you can be on a one-to-one or you can be on a phone, you're going to get far more across to them when they can see your body language, when they can hear that tone in your voice, as well as the words that you speak. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so when you're speaking with your team, like I said, it's really about being interested in them. And here's another question for you. Are you interesting? Okay, we'll put it in the chat again. Yes? No? Okay. Oh, we're all interesting. Okay. Here's another question for you. Are you interested? Because, you know, when we are coaching our team, the priority is always about being interested in what they've got to say, not showing them how interesting you are. And, you know, that is when people will build that relationship with you because they don't want to see an eye specialist talking all about them and what they've done and how great they are, whilst you might be, and that's lovely. People really want people to take an interest in them. So, you know, like we always say, there is no I in team. And I love this. I found this picture. You know, this is typical, isn't it? You did this wrong and you did this and you did that and you did the other, and the other person's kind of going, will she ever stop talking and just ask me? You know, it really is about asking those right questions. So it's about asking lots of open-ended questions when you're working with your team. It's about listening what they say. If you're on the phone, you know, take notes. If you're rubbish at remembering, like me, a good way to sort of really take the information in is repeat back what they've said. You know, that's a great tip. So you have your husband does such an you know, so I would say something like, so your husband Andy does is a project manager in the post office. one, it's showing that you've listened to what they've said, but secondly, it also helps imprint it in here for you, which helps you as well. So, and what we do with our coaching is we always focus on keeping things on the straight line. So, as a coach and a mentor in the business, it's lovely to have a chit chat, but at the end of the day, you're there to mentor them and develop them in the business. So it's got to be business focused. So you've got to keep it on the straight lines of, how you're going to help them with the business. So it's offering that guidance on your system. It's creating the duplication, because when you're coaching a system, you will need to tell them, but you'll also need to show them as well what they need to do. And let's not forget that our systems are in place because it saves yourself time, energy, and money. So, get this across to your team that we have a system for a reason, and it's about how that's going to benefit them, not just you. So, sell the system to them. So you're going to say what it is that they need to do. You're also going to show them how they need to do it. But also it's about explaining why they need to do it that way as well, because often people will buy into your coaching if they know exactly what they need to do, how they're going to do it, and why they're doing it, because then they can understand the importance of all of that. And it is up to us as leaders to teach and coach our systems to our success line one step at a time. So don't bombard them with information. Break it down. Like I said earlier, some people will run with this, some people will go a bit slower with this. So break it down into bite-sized chunks. Nobody can eat an elephant all in one go, can they? So, we've got to think about that. When we're asking questions then, so we have a little bit of a system. I don't know whether any of you have heard about this, but when we're getting to know certainly a prospect or a new team member, we use this form, and you've probably seen it before, but form stands for family, occupation, recreation, and money. So these are going to be the things that you're going to base your questions around. This is what's going to keep everything on that straight lines coaching session for you. And it also shows when you're talking about the family that you've got an interest in them. But when you understand from a team member the family makeup, the challenges, then you can work with helping them and understanding. Might be that you relate them to somebody else in the business that's got 4 children and a granddaughter, because you can understand how to relate that information. Ask them if they've got a job, if they work. Do they love that job? Do they hate that job? Is it, stressful job? Because when you understand again where their mindset is with their job, are they looking for a way out of that job? Is the opportunity going to give them that way out? Or it might be that they love the job, and that's absolutely fine. So you don't want to be going saying to them all the time, well, you need to pack your job in and do clean easy full time. You need to understand what's going on with people. Understand what is important to them in their recreation time, what it is that they do in their spare time. Are they maybe in the interim going to need to make some sacrifices on that? Or are there things in the recreation that you're going to use to help them with goal setting? So it might be that they love traveling, so you can bring in all about the trips and the things that are on offer. And then more importantly than anything, I think it's really important, and it's always a very difficult question, but you should really know what money it is that they're in the business to earn, because your goal is to help them to achieve the income that they desire. And they may come in and say to you, I want to earn £5,000 a month. We know that's not going to happen in period 1. But if we know that that's what they're driving towards, we can help them to plan towards that in a realistic way. So when we're asking these questions, we have to use things like bridging words. We ask questions, then we use our bridging words. So things like, you'll be speaking to somebody and you'll say, give me an example, meaning, can you explain? Can you describe that for me? So sort of making an expansion on, so who's in your family? Well, I've got 4 children and a granddaughter. Oh, so tell me how old they are and explain to me, and give me an example of these things. So it's just about using those bridging words, and then also asking and listening and using our open-ended questions so that they are giving you the information. Never assume anybody's answers, always let them answer for themselves. I'll put this on a slide for you if you like, because I know there's a lot of information on here that you can use, but we use this as a framework for our open-ended questions for our team, so it gives them some things in their mind that they can use when they're asking the question. So what is it exactly that you know, and why do you want to achieve this, and how are we going to do this? So these are some suggested questions that you can use to open people up in those initial stages of coaching. We've also got some critical thinking questioning, so we can probe a little bit deeper here. Again, I'll send you some examples of this. So, you know, why, one of the really good questions that you can use is, why is that important to you? You know, that's a really good one, because you can find out the emotion behind things, and when you find the emotion behind anybody's reasons why, let me tell you, there'll be no stopping them. Okay, so let's move on now to a little bit about our caring. Now, this for me is a really big thing, because there are lots of people that have very low self-esteem, and one of the strongest factors that for success is self-esteem. And I believe that, you know, if you believe in that you can do it, if you believe in that you will do it, and you believe in that you deserve it, then success is on your radar. But, you know, self-esteem for a lot of people is like the battery. You know, when it's fully charged, we have high self-esteem, but when it depletes, we have low self-esteem. And you can continue with your team to recharge this battery up, because, as it says, they're going to feel more belief, they're going to feel that they're more valued. When you're constantly complimenting people, when you magnify their strengths, don't focus on people's weaknesses. You know, we don't have a strengths and weaknesses thing. We work with people's strengths, and we develop areas of development. So, you know, it's not focusing on what their challenges are, it's not focusing on their weaknesses are. Let's focus where people's strengths are. Let's build people up so that they feel confident enough to take those next steps that they need to take in their business. So as it says here, build someone up, put their insecurities to sleep, remember that they're worthy, tell them they're magical, be the light in a too often dim world. There are far too many people out there that just love to pull people to pieces. Let's not be those people. Let's be the people that lift people up. And, you know, we've had a great mentor in our business. Jackie is so positive. Those of you that have had, you know, the privilege of meeting Jackie White, she always lifts people up. She always finds something to compliment you on. And Jackie is a key person in my life that, you know, I admire. It's rising up by lifting others, as it says here. And kind of call me crazy, but I love people being happy, and you surround your life. I can't quite see this. Let me just move that. It's all about, this business is actually all about seeing people being happy and succeeding. And, you know, we have got competition in the business, but life is a journey and it's not a competition. Everybody will run the business at their own level, at their own stage, you know, so we have to let them do that. Yes, we can create some competition within the team, but be aware that everybody is on their own journey to success. And, you know, people's success looks very different from one person to another. And I kind of believe that, you know, the self-esteem really is our rapid results generator of everything with our team. You know, we work extremely hard in our group at building people up, because, like I say, when people are confident with themselves, they believe they can move on to the next stages in their business. Now let's talk about helping, you know, getting in those trenches. Picture here, all of you will know Chris and Claire Kinsella. When we were helping them and pushing them to gold, I think we dropped something like think it was about 4,000 catalogues in 9 days to get them to gold. Now, when we got out in the trenches with them, we showed them what was possible, you know, because people will always work at a level that they think that they're exhausting their time. So you will always take them to their next level. You know, it shows them what's possible with the retail, it shows them what's possible with their time, but it develops and it bonds those relationships, because whilst you're doing all of this, you can have fun, you can get to know one another, you know, you're building up that bond with one another, you're working on a one-to-one basis with people. We've had for years sizzles at our house where we get people round so we can bond as a team, we work and train and we work together at that. Our meetings, you know, because it is really about surrounding yourself with the people who push you, who challenge you, who make you laugh, who make you feel better, people that make you happy. And, you know, Clean Easy is amazing because everybody's so lovely and positive generally. So, you know, it is about being around those people. We inspire one another to achieve. For those of you, you know, get involved with helping your upline, volunteer yourself for a training, volunteer yourself to help at meetings, you know, get involved helping your upline with those things, and build belief through recognition. Again, another key part to our business, recognizing not just all of the major steps of maybe, excuse me, moving up the pay plan, but for me, recognition is a real passion of mine. It's recognizing the smallest things. It's recognizing when people are going through challenges. It's recognizing work ethic. It's recognizing lots more than just moving up the pay plan. So, you know, and you will build their belief in you. You will build belief in the business, and you will build belief in themselves when you recognize people. One major moment for us was this massive recognition that we got from Peter and Jackie White as Vision Group Distributors of the Year. We were absolutely, totally shocked, and it was an absolute honour. But, you know, those big things will come over time for people, and, you know, that was just a lovely sort of gesture of recognition. Because I strongly believe that being told you're appreciated is one of the simplest yet most incredible things that you can ever hear from anybody, you know, and a person that is appreciated will definitely do more than somebody that's not. As a winning team, it is about that trust in each other, it's about the respect of each other, it's about understanding each other and then enjoying each other. And that's where you create your team synergy, that's where your business foundations then are rock solid. So I've got a question for you. We're going to go back to thinking about the systems that we have, and you know, things have evolved and things have developed over a period of time. You know, we've got catalogues are still very, very strong. We've got the online selling, which is very new to us. But my question, okay, so we've got another question I'll pull down the chat, is do we have a simple system or not? And, you know, different groups have different systems. So just tell me if yours is a simple system. Yeah, okay, fantastic. I'm guessing most of you are quite established in the business. So I'm just going to ask you, if you understand the system that's on the screen, if anybody could just translate that for me. Nobody offering? No? Okay. The reason for that is because we haven't been taught the system of understanding these symbols to enable us to read them. We got taught the alphabet, didn't we, at school? So we can all read the alphabet. We can read the combination of the symbols in the alphabet. When they're put together into words, we can understand that. So what you have to remember is that when a new person comes into your business, this is what the system looks like to them. It's not familiar. So we have to teach them the little symbols. We have to teach them the little things. We have to remember the jargon, because we have sales plan value, this and that, you know, when we talk about all of these things in the business. So as leaders, we have to make sure that, yes, we've got a simple system, but when we bring new people in, We explain it all to them at a level that they can understand, because anything, and let me close the chat. Anything is easy when you know how. And you all know the system, that's why it's all easy to you. So let's have a little look now at our instructing and influencing, how we're going to do those things. We're going to remember, guys, that everybody has a slightly different learning style. So they may not, if you're a visual learner, they may be more auditory. So you need to take that into consideration. We have great things in place now, certainly with Zoom, because things can be visual on here. We can see things, but we can also listen at the same time. So it's matching in with both of those learning styles. So we need to provide information that is able to connect with that person's learning styles. I'm sure that you've got these are some of the things that we've got in place in our business. So we've got our resources website that has videos and visual things. We've got the emails that give written clarification to back all of those things up. We have some coaching packs that keep everybody on the straight lines, and it uses this GROW model that I'll explain in a while. We've got, we've got some great Facebook groups now, haven't we? That we've got that team synergy, the sharing of ideas. You know, I think they're great for seeing leaders coming through, because you can see who's answering the questions. You can test knowledge in there. You can see who's confident with what they're saying. You know, there's that instant recognition now for people within the groups. You know, we've got some real good tools in our business from what we had sort of 11 years ago when we joined. Things have evolved and developed in such a fantastic way. The Facebook chats, you know, again, where we've got that team synergy, working together. There's always somebody at hand to help, and we have that whole working together philosophy within the business. You see, the key to successful leadership today, it is about influence. It's not about authority. And certainly within the Facebook groups and the chat, it's lovely to see everybody influencing that, and not having this whole power thing where one person's the leader and it's what they say. You know, everybody really is contributing all their ideas, all their learning, all working together. And that is, at the end of the day, what makes people feel valued in your team. Okay, so the coaching is about teaching those skills, you know, taking them at a level where they're able to work. But coaching is as well, it's realizing the person's potential to maximize their own performance. It's helping them to learn rather than teaching them. So all of these things that we've got in place, I spoke about it earlier, it's sometimes as a coach pointing people to where they can find the tools to work with. It's not that we have to do everything for them. And as a coach, that is you realizing that potential. It is, you know, understanding all of those tools that you've got available to you now, and utilizing them and maximizing them to grow your business, because we can't do everything for everybody. You know, it is about us working together. Teamwork does make the dream work, doesn't it? You know, it's togetherness that we appreciate, and we achieve so much more. And like I said earlier, it's about never giving up on them as well. You'll see people in your business, and it's strange, I always sort of describe it as these waves. There's people's businesses that will go up and they'll hit they'll hit that sort of top of the wave, but inside that wave there are people coming up on the inside, and they're coming up to reach their wave, and we all kind of take turns, and then the waves will come down and crash at some point, but then it builds up again, and that's how the momentum of our business grows. It's that constant moving up and coming down, and then moving up and coming down in the business. You know, Chris and Claire Kinsella are extremely successful in the business. It's an absolute honour to be able to work with them. But when they started the business, the first 18 months, the first 2 years, lots of people could have given up on this couple. It was about working with them to a time when they were ready to take this business by storm. And you, as a coach and a mentor, that's your role. You never know who in your business is just going to have their light bulb moment and start taking this business by storm. It's only as things click into place that people start to move their business into momentum, and it's exactly what happened with this couple. A good coach will make his players see what they can be rather than what they are. So it's always, again, I say this over and over again, it's always about seeing the potential. You know, the CK2, we call them, phenomenon, just fantastic results. And are we so glad that we never ever gave up on them in them early days when they were just sort of plodding along, you know? So always value everybody. We've had some great new leaders come through the business in the last sort of 12 to 18 months, 2 years. It's been an absolutely fantastic growth in the business. But, you know, some of these people, like I say, will come in and run with it. Other people will take their time till when they're ready. So let me just explain to you a little bit about our grow model. This is something that we work with within our business. Now, it says here, are you ready to grow? This simple process, if you like, is a method used for sort of goal setting and coaching. It simply breaks everything down. It's how our coaching pack is all put together. So basically what it means is it's your goal, your reality, your options, and your will, and I'll explain that. So within a coaching session, you're going to have a goal in mind. So you're going to have a focus on that coaching call. So it might be your first coaching call that you've had with a team member, you know, and the aim, the goal of this coaching call is to get them ready for a first drop of the catalogues. Okay, so your focus is all going to be about that. It's not going to be, you know, going off and talking about putting an order on or doing a return or doing things that they're not ready for. Your goal and your priority within that coaching call is to just get them to a stage where they're ready for that first drop of catalogues. So what you've got to have a look at that is the reality of the situation right now with where they're at. They've got no knowledge of dropping catalogues. You've got to check things like, you know, have they got a printer? You know, has their kit arrived? So you're going to be checking with where they're at. And so there's going to be some questions that you're going to ask. You're going to get them to maybe think about where they're going to go, what time they've got available. So it's all that based around the current situation. So you're going to use them open-ended questions to find out the reality of the situation so that we're getting them ready for that first drop. We're then going to have a look at the options. So what it is that you can do, what it is that they can do to now take the next steps to get them ready so that when you leave them, they've got something to do. So it's all those options about have they got a printer to print the slips? If they haven't, what they're going to do, where they're going to go. Maybe you're going to need to guide them to go to a printer. You know, so they might need to do a bit, you might need to do a bit. It's also about any of those obstacles that might come up. So, you know, the kit's not arrived, or I don't know, they've suddenly not got any childcare when they thought they were going to have it. So you're going to discuss all this so that you know what's going on. Then your will, or otherwise known as the way forward, is that exact plan. So you go away knowing what you need to do, they go away very clear on what they need to do. And then it's about then just going on to each and every coaching call with a very clear focus of what it is that you want from that coaching call with your team, so that you'll keep taking them up the next level to get them ready to do what they need to do. So I hope that makes sense. It's something that we've been using for a while in our business, and it really does keep the whole thing on the sort of straight lines model as well. And every time, I love this diagram, because every time you give them a piece of information, every time you have a coaching call with your team, like, can you see the picture? You're just putting another little cog in the wheel, or another little leaf on the tree as it grows and blossoms with its knowledge in the business. So at the end of the day, coaching is not black and white. You know, we are dealing with people, so we need to be flexible. You know, we plod with the plodders, we walk with the walkers, and run with the runners, as I'm sure you've heard before. I think as a coach, it's important that we clarify where they're up to, we open up the resources, we agree the preferred future goals and the methods that we're going to use, we create that journey, and we head for success together as a team. Because coaching in Clean Easy is lifting a person's vision to higher heights, it's raising a person's performance to a higher standards, and it's building an amazing friendships that last a lifetime. And I'm going to finish with never stop trying, never stop believing, never give up, because your day will come. Okay, hope that was okay.
Everybody can unmute themselves. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. Everybody unmute.
Thank you, Helen.
Thank you so much, Helen.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Does